Meanwhile, you have the Capogrosso. This is the best finish of their career. Nico Capogrosso won his one and only bronze medal with his former partner Julian Azad. That was 6 years ago in 2018. They've had 3 top 5 finishes in the last 4 events. So they've been trending in the right direction. Sweden, of course, has been trending in the utmost direction. It's been 505 days since we have seen Sweden not make a final.
Crazy.
It's obscene.
That's crazy.
20 events since their last bronze medal match, and of course they have the 100% winning percentage in bronze medal matches. Now, I say that they don't have a sort of recent experience in responding to losses, but I'm going to somewhat correct myself because the Paris Olympic Games, they dropped the first 2 matches of full play. They needed to respond just to get out of the group, and then what do? Well, they beat a sensationally hot Cuba team, go on to win an Olympic gold medal, and so they have been here before, just not in this exact context. And if you're Argentina, what you really need is a fast start.
Yes.
And that's something that eluded them in the first set against Qatar earlier today. Qatar jumped all over from 10-4, and Argentina never at any point was competitive in that first set. They had a quicker start in that second set. We're up 11-10 at the tech, but then an 11-2 run to close that match for Qatar. So you just have to avoid those big runs, and you have to jump on Sweden and hope that they're still a little down, a little frustrated, because losing to them is so foreign. They're 35-5 on the Beach Pro Tour this season. They're not accustomed to losing, and you want to try to just jump on them right away.
And it's a tall task to ask of any team to go ahead and jump on Sweden early, because they never give up more than a 1 or 2 point lead at really any point in their match. And the change for the Argentinian boys, what I want to see different is the amount of errors early on for them against Qatar. You know, play smart volleyball, make Sweden have to dig you before you try and be so perfect and trying to hit these perfect line shots or hit these perfect angled swings. And another challenge for Argentina is handling the wind. I don't think they did a very good job in that semifinal matchup. We saw a lot of oversets. We saw a lot of missed contacts with hand to ball, and that's just prepping for a little bit of movement with that ball, prepping for the wind. Joao Pessoa, it's windy. It's been windy since we started this tournament. We're about midday here. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Joao Pessoa. It's maybe a little earlier than midday. The heat is hot here. It gets hotter early. The sun is rising at about 5 a.m. in the morning. And so the athletes have been feeling the heat. They've been feeling the weather. So they should be accustomed to both elements by this point in the game. So for Argentina, like you said, stay efficient. Don't need to be perfect, right? Sweden's going to make some amazing plays, but make them make those plays before you have to do anything crazy.
And the trend that we have noticed throughout these playoffs is the team who has made the fewest errors, that's the team who has gone on to win. That's the correlation. We've seen it with Qatar, we've seen it with Norway, we've seen it with both Brazilian teams on the women's side. And can Argentina limit their errors? Now again, Argentina, a bit of a self-inflicted wound by getting into it with the Brazilian crowd, and so they will get booed everywhere they go and turn their opponents into the de facto home team. Qatar, you thought that they would have lived here earlier today, and the ovation given to Sweden will have the home court advantage, so to speak, despite being from many, many, many miles away. But that's just kind of the way Sweden goes. Everyone loves watching these boys play, and deservedly so. The princes of beach volleyball, can they get on the podium and keep their podium streak alive?
Yes, what was that podium streak?
It is every event since Ostrava of 2023. Don't have the exact number of events, but it's significant.
It's significant.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah, that streak of 11 straight finals, gone. 13 straight set wins before coming into the semifinals. That's also gone. They lost a set. So, starting action here, and right away, the tempo back jump set, and that's a good sign for Sweden.
And it's an excellent sign with, again, Jonathan Hellvig on his foreign side on the right, David Åhman on his unusual side on the left, and it just looks so natural no matter where you put him.
To be able to switch here consistently at the highest level against these teams, it's so impressive. And there's Nico Capogrosso sneaking underneath the block.
And that's a good start for Nico. Good pass, good set, good swing as well. Now, when we were down on center court, walking around the city a little bit, the wind has died down, which will make it somewhat easier to play, also more difficult because you don't have that breeze to pull you off.
Early option for Jonathan Hellvig. That goes down.
I love the pause that Hellvig gets at the top of his swing. He draws his elbow back and just waits and waits, finds the hands, and just snaps it off him.
In that semifinal match, I think David was hoping Jonathan would hit a few more options, so a good sign for Sweden with the early option. And so Nico Capogrosso going to high line just off the top. Nice control here from Argentina to start this match.
Two good decisions. Nico Capogrosso on 2 times asking. That one just the I'm bigger than you kill.
Yes, Nico Capogrosso listed at 6'8". Jonathan Hellvig listed at 6'4", and that's questionable if you ask Coach Razzie Johnson. Could be a little bit shorter.
I stand about 6'4", and he's just a little bit shorter than me. Plays about 10 inches higher than I do.
Option right in the lap of David Åhman. Back, hammered, cross court.
That was a little bit tentative on the option from Tomas, where I thought that the pass gave him enough height to really put that full whippy swing on it. Instead, he just sort of passed it right into the awaiting platform of David Åhman. He's going to make you punish for that.
Keeping the ball on Nico, and Nico doing an excellent job moving the ball around, finds the sideline.
3 smart shots from Nico Capogrosso. Just a little line swing off the blocker Jonathan Hellvig, little line shot, and then that little high over the angle. Mixing it up well, just finding the open space and delivering.
Both serve this time at Hellvig. The poke over, a little bit of a missed contact, I think, for David Åhman.
I'm at a bit of a loss for words because it's not often that you see something like that from Åhman. Usually when he gets that slide approach, he's able to get that nice fast swing and able to put it away. Instead, pokes it long and gives Argentina the free point.
Option there into the net. Nico Capogrosso a little late on that block, but not a problem as David Åhman, another error. This time, looking from the replay. Oh, Nico actually got a hand on it.
Can't teach height, Kyle. That's that 6'8". You only need to jump a couple inches to get a ball over the net.
High angle swing, nice chicken wing dig from Tomas Capogrosso.
This is the fast start that Argentina needed. You got smooth side out from Nico Capogrosso. You got Tomas inserting himself on defense. Got a couple errors from David Åhman. Maybe rallied from earlier today, maybe not. Quick early timeout from Sweden. This is exactly what Argentina needed to do.
Travis, you called it. You said Argentina needs to jump out quick onto Sweden. I said, that's a very tall task. What do you know, Argentina rising to the occasion, jumping out quick, getting Sweden to call this early timeout, which 6-4, I like this timeout from Sweden. Do not let Argentina get any sort of groove, any sort of rhythm.
I like it as well, and Sweden's coach, Razzie Johnson, is in our eye line here, and I'm just keeping an eye on him. Keeping an eye on Razzie's stress levels. Not too high. We've seen Sweden get in deficits before. They were down 12-7 in a pool play match against actually Argentina's 2 earlier. And how did they respond? Well, they won 21-18.
Yeah.
And so they know how to respond. This is a team that there's film on the Capogrossos, but they haven't played one another since the finals of the Dubai Challenge of 2022. That one went the way of Sweden. When 2 years pass, that film is useless. It's 2 completely different teams coming out for this one, and so it's a bit of a data collection period at the moment through the technical timeout, and then the real volleyball is going to begin.
That float serve just a bit long, good lead, so an excellent timeout from Sweden. Nico Capogrosso going out wide. Good soft touch there from Jonathan Hellvig, and somehow, what an angle from David Åhman.
It's an angle from David Åhman, but it is the soft block set for me, Kyle Friend. This one from Johnny Hellvig, the hang swat, and then he sort of gets jammed and still just sets it almost with his thumbs as a platform and lofts it up perfectly.
And there's an ace from Hellvig, the old whirly bird celebration. We'll see many different celebrations from Sweden.
And the 2 X factors for Argentina. get an early start, jump on them. They did that. Limit the runs. You have to limit the runs. Qatar went on an 11-2 run after the technical timeout. They need to stop the bleeding early.
Back to Nico Capogrosso. This time, the most heat we've seen from the right arm of Nico Capogrosso through the block.
And it was the heat, but it was the fast arm swing that was able to get that ball to be a tool off Jonathan Hellvig. Instead of a soft block, instead of a block coming back down, he speeds it up. So before the block can be fully formed at the top, that ball's already off his hands.
Switch sides, 7-all. Hellvig with a little slap to the cross court. Tomas frustrated he was there.
This was a fantastic read from Tomas Capogrosso. He shifts into the sharp angle, and it was just so perfectly read. He went with one arm, should have gone with two, and he knows it, and that was the source of that frustration.
Back to Nico. Nico takes that look. High, deep swing, just catching. David Åhman letting that one go. Hits the line.
Åhman a little frustrated with himself on that one, but if you let it go and it hits the line, I think that's an okay leave. I think it's when you let it go and it's 2 balls in bounds. That's the one that you can kick yourself a little bit.
8-all. Hellvig towards the line. Good run down from Tomas. Off into the block, covered well. And Nico trying to chip it line, but the weight and swat for Jonathan Hellvig.
The alley-oop dunk from Johnny Hellvig. Johnny Hellvig, he first saves the point by getting that soft block on Tomas perfectly in system, and then again, the timing, he waits and swats it straight down. Beautiful blocking work from Jonathan Hellvig.
Well serve working Nico in that bad corner. Oh, Tomas there just clipping that sideline. Excellent precision. If it wasn't that perfect, it's not. It's going to be dug.
David Åhman is having a bit of a toxic relationship with that line right now. Just staring it down as the Capogrossos are painting it.
Good shot, good run on the defensive end from Argentina. Chance here, though, for Sweden. Cross court rip, off the tape and out of bounds, so error. David Åhman.
Tremendous timing on that first dig from the Capogrosso brothers. Tomas starts in the line. At the last second, he runs into the angle, baiting that exact same shot, uses the net well to give Nico a chance to set it. Well done, Argentina.
Hellvig over the top, Travis, perhaps?
How do you spell OT in Swedish? Is there an accent on top of one of those? Is it OT?
Jeez. 6'4" versus 6'8", not a problem for Mr. Hellvig. And overhead, that little bit of movement creates some space there for Nico Capogrosso.
And Åhman is frustrated a bit with Hellvig for not taking more angle and getting a hand on this, but I think that this ball crosses so far over into the angle on that side of the net that I don't think any blocker should reasonably have gotten that. I think that's just a shot that beats that defense.
And that's the benefit of a little bit of movement. It takes a minute for blockers to get set as we see our first referee up on the stands. But that movement, like we said, in addition to the wind. So not only that ball moving, it's tracking, the wind's gonna push it even more than you think. And so as a blocker, you have to adjust, find where that ball is gonna be, where it's gonna land after, because it's gonna be constantly moving. It's so difficult for blockers to read and get on those balls. And so even more so in these conditions.
And I was talking about that with Hellvig last night at dinner after they played Vitor Felipe and Couto in the quarterfinals. And we were talking about how he went from 0 blocks in the first set to 5 in the next 2, and he says it's really hard to do exactly that, to track it, because you have 3 elements to track as a blocker. You have the ball, the setter, and the hitter. And then you have the wind moving everything else around. So the hitter only has to track the ball. The blocker has to track 3 different elements, and so Jonathan Hellvig has been spectacular this week as a blocker, given the difficult conditions.
Out of the technical timeout, 11-10, Argentina. Nice touch here. Nico Capogrosso choosing his health and safety over that dig.
And Tomas is getting closer and closer to controlling a lot of these digs, but the important element is he's in the right position.
Yes.
He's getting a lot of touches. He's making a lot of excellent reads. And the more touches you get, the more opportunities you're going to have. And those will eventually lead to points.
Staying on Nico. Nico going high hands. Just steady side out from Nico right now.
It's easier said than done. But when Nico stays high like that and just hunts down the high hands of Jonathan Hellvig, he is going to be unstoppable and has yet to be stopped on it.
Both serving to the corner. Tight pass. Nobody up for David Åhman. And that's a showtime swing right there.
I would love to spend a week with Razzie Johnson and these boys. I just want to see what their practices look like. Do they practice the running jump bumps before the ball is about to get into the net? I don't know how you teach that skill because they're so good at it.
And I remember seeing a drill with them where every touch had to be a jump, whether it was a bump or a set. So they're definitely practicing those skills. Good touch there. Look at Hellvig moving so well laterally, patrolling this net. And when he's not patrolling, nice touch from Tomas. What a rally here. Free ball for Sweden. Jump set. Short poke over. And Tomas can only smile.
And that really is maybe the dig of the day from Tomas, standing on the 1 meter line, just putting his hands up and able to dig it up high enough for Nico to be able to go set it. It's going to be a timeout, Argentina. I like the timeout after the long rally. Everyone's a little bit winded. You want your legs fresh inside out. A couple elements that I really liked about that play from Sweden. One, Jonathan Hellvig taking the options. Those are the options that he wasn't taking earlier against Norway in the semifinal that Åhman wanted him to. So he takes the option first. It's dug on a phenomenal dig from Tomas, and then he jump sets the second with David Åhman versus Tomas at the net. That's a mismatch, and Åhman really smart play, just high and over Tomas. Just high IQ, excellent beach volleyball.
Yeah, and it's easy to say, oh, high free ball should be able to be handled perfectly. Not the case. Not with this wind, not with these conditions. Got to control that pass, keeping that ball off the net when you need it to be. It doesn't need to be a perfect pass, just in the right space. You can pass it at 5 feet, 7 feet off the net and still get the success required.
I don't know who our drone operators are in Joao Pessoa, but whoever you are, you're our Dark Knight. Doing incredible work. The drone shots of Joao Pessoa have been breathtaking. Charming city, lots of beauty to go around in Joao Pessoa.
13-12 out of the timeout. Tomas having a chance, one of his first inside out, and it's a perfect dig to kill option swing from Johnny Hellvig.
That's it. I would, one of these days, I'm going to spend the space between semifinals and medal matches with one of these teams and just sit in on the meeting and see what the discussion was, because I want to know if the discussion was for Jonathan Hellvig to option more, because he is.
And that swing off the hands of Hellvig. Nicely done from Tomas.
And I think a note must be made on that former comment about Hellvig optioning more is that these conditions are more optionable conditions. The wind has died down significantly, and it's going to make it a lot easier to take it onto and a lot easier to get passes that are optionable.
Short serve to Hellvig, chips line, Tomas all over it. A bit of a low set. Nice touch there from David Åhman, but Hellvig not able to run that one down.
A lot of fight being shown right now by Argentina. Every time it looks like Sweden's going to start pulling away, Argentina, they bear down a little bit, they side out, and then they earn a couple to get back in. Tie ball game 14-14.
And I like that short serve to Hellvig. I don't think that's a strategy many teams have been using lately, because usually when you short serve, it creates an easy option opportunity, but not the case there. I wonder if Argentina will continue to use that strategy. Nico back to serve. Goes deep into the corner. Perfect serve for Nico Capogrosso.
And that is the coffin corner out here on center court in Joao Pessoa. That back left corner that David Åhman is currently in, that is the toughest corner to pass. That's where the majority of aces have been from this weekend.
And Åhman playing both bad corners, switching directly across the net. Option swing, that time catching the back line for Tomas Capogrosso. So Argentina just painting lines left and right.
4-0 run by the Capogrosso brothers. Once down 12-14. They're now up 16-14. Both teams have used their timeouts.
There's that short serve. Lefty poke. That goes wide, and it's just a little too tight from that pass from David Åhman. It doesn't need to be perfect, just a little tight.
And I wonder, with the wind calming down, if we're going to see Hellvig go back to the left, that's his native side, even in the windy corner. I don't think that it's significant enough of a wind that he needs to be protected.
Overhead, Åhman. One of the first line swings we've seen from him going behind. He loves to go back towards the angle, back into the wind. That one off the hands.
Excellent tool swing from Åhman, but the damage has been done. A 5-0 run made by Argentina puts them up 3 on their own side out.
5-0 run against Sweden. Rare occurrence. It's a big point here for Argentina, and it's just long. So a break there for Sweden as they bring this lead to just 1.
If I were Argentina, I would challenge this one. It's close enough that it would at least be a timeout, and I think it's close enough that that could have been overturned. I'm surprised that they didn't.
Line swing, Åhman is there. Crawling from his knees, gets back up with the poke cut shot. Brilliant.
Well, fist bump to the crowd from David Åhman. Just such an explosive player. He gets up so fast and has a massive step close to chase that set as the wind drifted just a bit inside, gets his hands there, smart shot.
Serve high pass, it's a little bit tight. Åhman is there. Hellvig with the poke. Oh, the opportunity for Tomas.
A 5-0 run flipped into a 3-0 run for Sweden is the game of runs, and that is one that Tomas, it looks like such a simple play. Those little pokes, they're not easy, but those are little touches that Sweden is so good at that I think separates Sweden from the rest of the world, where that's a play that Argentina has to make if they want to win these. There's those little small touches you gotta have.
Nico out wide. What a hustle from David Åhman, but not able to ice cream scoop that one up.
And again, Nico staying high, finding the high hands of Jonathan Hellvig, and it results in a kill.
And it's so important to use that height. There's the shot right there, just over the top of Hellvig. Hellvig from the left, hammered, good soft block. Not the best set from Tomas, and a chance here for Sweden. A little bit confusion and a double violation there on Jonathan Hellvig.
And as far as body language and clear frustration with one another goes, these last 2 matches have been the most I've ever seen from Sweden. Åhman to Hellvig in particular. Åhman is a bit more expressive than Hellvig, but frustrated with that one. Bit of a miscommunication.
Option that time from David Åhman, taking matters into his own hands.
Åhman back home on the right, which is counterintuitively where he options the best.
19 all in this first set. Argentina hanging tough. Line swing, it's blocked. Chance, nice soft cut shot. High IQ play from Nico.
More underrated skill, Kyle. Soft block setting or covering?
Soft block setting, because I think covering is talked about so much. And so just to be able to turn, find that ball, get a good set, not an easy play to make. Tight pass. That's touched. Got to come back over, but it's an overpass. Nice karate chop dig from Nico. Can he put this one away? He cannot. David Åhman, nobody up. Long rally here. Argentina need this point to win the set.
Oh my gosh.
And the post goes wide. Unreal rally. Argentina battle and grind their way to a first set victory over Sweden.
How good was that rally? Even the fans cheered for Argentina. And I think they're just now understanding that that was for the set as our scoreboard on court.
It was a little slow.
It was a little slow. So the fans were just cheering for a good rally, and then they were stunned and disappointed to realize that Argentina just won the opening set over Sweden. Kyle, it just seems as if the setting precision, the communication of the height and the location, it's a little off for Sweden right now.
Yeah, and I don't know, obviously the wind plays a role in that, but when you're setting these lower balls, it's trying to limit some of that wind variation as we take a look at our statistics. Just 3 errors for Sweden, not that many. But like you said, something about the timing of David Åhman's approach and the setting of Jonathan Hellvig. I don't know if Hellvig is trying to make some adjustments because of the wind, and that's throwing the timing off of David Åhman, but the timing, they said the coordination just not quite as crisp as we're used to seeing from these boys.
Now, all that being said, I would 1x bet a small fortune that we're going 3.
Shout out 1x bet. Sweden losing the first set here. And a missed serve to start this second set off from David Åhman, and maybe carrying over a little of that frustration from set number 1 into this second set. I think it's a challenge as a player to have a short-term memory. That option right in the lap of Tomas and hands on his mouth. He knows he had an opportunity.
But Tomas, so much credit must be given to him for putting himself in the right position to be getting all of these touches that he's frustrated with not making, because he's in the right spot so many times. He's getting a full platform on it.
Nico Capogrosso, chipping line, looking for some hands. I think he's going to get them. Referee, I think, signaling incorrectly. He signaled Argentina, correct?
He signaled Argentina. I think that's one of those situations where the referee signaled that it was Argentina's point and no one on the court realized it, as all the players knew that it was actually Sweden's point. And so the ref just ignored the fact that he made the wrong call, which I respect.
Respect it.
Just move on.
Just move on. We do the same thing. We're going to say the wrong thing every once in a while as well. We just move on. You might know, you might not know. Good shot there from Nico. Pushing over to the line, and that ball's slippery as you see David Åhman and John Hellvig switching back. Sorry. On their switch sides, excuse me.
And we've been talking about the set height and location, and we saw a couple chunky ones before that didn't go uncalled. Now that one, of course, is going to get called every time, but the setting is just, it's a little off right now for Sweden.
And the timing, there you see the timing a little early from David Åhman. Thomas Capogrosso going behind, trying to go cut shot there. See Åhman and Hellvig having a few words.
And you mentioned the timing in the middle of that play where Åhman has to hang and hang and hang and then just pop in that cutty when he's almost on the sand again. And another perfect opportunity for Argentina, and another one not capitalized.
Tough serve. Inside set, right at the chest of David Åhman, but too hot to handle.
And that's a rare change-up on offense from Nico, where he's been siding out so well, just attacking the high hands of Jonathan Hellvig. I think he caught Åhman by surprise. I think Åhman was ready to run down a shot, as Nico's been mostly shooting and chopping and slapping away from Åhman. Just catches him high in the chest. Nico's doing a really nice job mixing up the offensive attacks.
Good high pass, option, hammer from David Åhman.
And that is more like it. Now when they have Åhman on the right, this is their good side, so to speak, is it's just their normal side. Åhman, a little bit of anger, a little bit of frustration, perhaps unloading on 2.
That serve is called in. Argentina not happy, they're going to challenge.
I have this one as in.
Yeah. Up ref going to come down, take a look. Quick look, Travis, quick look.
I think this one, as the famous Bill Rafferty would say in March Madness, tickle the time.
Yeah, that one's in there. To the delight of the fans. Float serve now, beginning to target Tomas. Started on Nico, going to Tomas, and a missed contact there from David Åhman. Another weird swing.
And I already hate myself for wondering if it's just a little bit of rust in the 2-month break between the Olympics and Joao Pessoa for Sweden, but I just haven't seen this many errors, this many just little ball control misses from them.
And David just looks, that's super crisp, but some of these other ones just a smidge early on some of these swings. And you know, it's hard to critique the best team in the world, really, but he's hanging and then he's waiting, he's just a little out of position. I'd love to see him just wait an extra second. Maybe he's super jumpy right now, he's got a lot of adrenaline.
And it's also difficult to know, is David early, or are the sets too high? Correct. Or is it one of those combos that's making, if you're off by 2% on your approach coming in early and the set's 2% high, that compounds into a 4% miss. And at this level, that's going to add up quickly.
Inside set here. Nice line swing though. Good adjustment there from Hellvig, broad jumping.
Nice job getting in, chasing that set inside, and then the no-looky snap down the line. One of the first sort of blocking mistakes we've seen from Nico. The block D of Argentina has been impressive in this bronze medal match.
Angle swing covered from Nico. And the soft line, what a turn for Jonathan Hellvig. Can he put this one away? He does. Big point for Sweden.
What a turn from Jonathan Hellvig. Such a difficult play to make where you're timing the block, it's a delay block, you have to go all the way up, come all the way down, and then you spin around full 180, left-handed touch to Åhman, and then you get back up, no step close, and Yahtzee it into the angle. Come on.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those skills that Jonathan Hellvig does as good as anyone else in the world, and it is one of the hardest skills to do on the beach court, in my opinion. Tempo outside to Tomas, into the block, another cover. And the option, it's dug from Hellvig. Tight set though, another chance for Sweden. And crafty reverse pokey for Jonathan Hellvig.
And Jonathan Hellvig, just as he was last night against Guto and Vitor Felipe, is starting to take over as the best player on the court. That play right there, the only reason that they had a chance at it was because Hellvig was able to make that dig off the net that so many players would have given up on.
Yes.
Brings it back up, and then the reverse layup, left-handed pokey, opposite-handed. That's just, it's an incredible sequence of plays for Hellvig.
Opposite-handed pokies, huge theme this weekend, probably due to a little bit of wind, a little bit of late adjustments in the air. These athletes so talented with both hands, both pokies, something that Travis and I need to work on more. Travis will be teaching his girls at FSU, I think, to use both of those hands, both pokies. But timeout here from Argentina, and it just feels, Travis, that a little bit of energy, a little momentum shift on the side of Sweden. Not a good sign if you're Argentina.
A little momentum shift. This is the third straight three-setter for Sweden after coming into this tournament having won 13 sets in a row, dating back to the Paris Olympic Games. So just a little bit of adversity for Jonathan Hellvig. However, this one's showing shades of their quarterfinal last night against Guto and Vitor Felipe, where they dropped a well-fought first set, came back to take big control of the second, control of the third.
So are you saying that this one is also going 3?
I would 1x bet on it.
Staying on Tomas. Down the line, good side out from Tomas Capogrosso.
Every time we get on the mic and we get to watch Tomas Capogrosso, I will talk about how much I love his arm swing.
Yeah.
Just that whippy arm swing. When he cracks it through a little snap, he's able to get so much topspin on it. It's so difficult to read in time.
Only getting better and better is the youngster. And Hellvig, he's pretty darn good already.
And I love what Hellvig does here. He speeds up when he actually contacts the ball, where Nico's block is not fully formed. He's not fully into the angle, and Hellvig sees that and just has a quick snap, takes a little bit of power off it to get it to the sand faster.
Back to Nico they go. And a nice swing away from David Åhman in the angle.
And I know Nico struggled siding out against Qatar, but if I'm Sweden, I'm adapting the game plan, which is clearly going at Nico, and I would start shifting to Tomas because Nico really has not given them much.
David Åhman there, that timing looked just fine.
Yeah, that'll do. As Shrek might say, that'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Jeez Louise. Hammering David Åhman. 11-8 Sweden. Thomas out wide and a little chizzy off the side of the block there. Nicely done.
And Tomas, such an extreme angled approach as a left-sider, where if you're a right-handed left-side player, you typically want your core facing the corner of the court. Well, he's facing even sharper angle, and then that's what makes that no-looking down the line so dangerous, is that he just sucks you in as a blocker to lean angle, and then he snaps it back down to the line for the second attack in a row.
Serve to the sideline of David Åhman, and it is an ace for Nico Capogrosso.
Argentina, I cannot be more impressed with them, where every time it just looks like Sweden's going to pull away. They're up 9-6. They're up 14-12 in the first set, and Argentina says, pump the brakes. We're going to flip the script here, take the momentum back, and now it's just 10-11 at the 10th timeout.
Yeah, impressive, Argentina. And this is a nice shift from what we saw in the semifinal matchup against Qatar, where they just never really found that second gear, kind of stayed at ground floor most of that match. So whatever happened between that semis and this bronze medal match, excellent work from them for the mental reset. Again, that's something that maybe gets overlooked from these athletes. They played this morning, they lost this morning. They have to come back, they have to reset and play again. And so excellent work from Argentina and their team surrounding them. Again, it's not just them, it's a team sport. You don't get to see the team off the court, the performance coaches, the strength coaches, their actual volleyball coaches, so credit to them.
Now, Kyle, are you a believer that a team like Argentina, in this case, first Elite 16 semifinal ever, you're up against the best team in the world, do they have anything to lose right now? Is there no expectations? I'm a believer that you got a bronze medal to lose, you got a match to lose, but maybe the expectations are dropped just a little bit because you're playing a Sweden.
You know, I think you kind of go in with that underdog great swing from Hellvig. You kind of keep that underdog mindset, which I hope frees you up. At least I know it does for me. When you come in with those expectations like, hey, we're going to play them tough. We're going to take them. We're going to take this medal. I would much rather have you come in and say, okay, good play by them. Move on to the next play. How quickly can you reset? An excellent swing. Good touch there from Åhman. Looking for help from Hellvig, but Hellvig still coming down off the block.
Tomas. Put a little stank on that swing. And I know I recommended Sweden get off of Nico and go to Tomas. 3 straight side outs for Tomas since. Bad recommend by me.
High pass, it's a little bit tight. That poke is covered. Tomas trying to let it go past him to the line. Hellvig gobbling that up.
And Hellvig gobbling it up with a pure read by him. This is an ankle block. Tomas snaps this down the line, and watch the left hand of Hellvig reaching into the line and covering it. So David Åhman doesn't even have to bother with the dig. Excellent read and hand work from Jonathan Hellvig.
Sweden regain 2-point advantage. Staying on Tomas. Chipping line, staying low is Åhman with the dig. And Åhman hanging and banging cross court.
Well done on the timing from David Åhman. Just breaking to that line at the perfect moment, staying so low to get under the ball, giving Hellvig enough time to get him a nice set, and then just elevate and chop into the angle. Watch how high he gets here. That is just, that's wild. That's Jordan-esque.
Tough pass. Tomas going to stay out of the middle. Into the angle. It's a good touch from David Åhman. This ball's going to come back over. Free ball for Argentina. The line, it's blocked but covered. Sand shark here on Tomas. Doesn't matter from his butt. Puts up a curl.
What a play from both teams. And Tomas comes up holding his leg. Kind of had that weird step that had him backpedaling to make that set. He got to wonder, and you never like to speculate on injuries, but to me it looks like a potential little cramp. And given the heat and humidity, wouldn't doubt if there's just a little twinge going on. Tomas giving the thumbs up to both refs. He's good to go. Excellent swing down the seam from Nico Capogrosso when you're in the fiddle. Just patted down the middle. Good things will tend to happen.
12-14. Argentina down 2. Chop serve to Åhman, and the option swing goes down. Nico Capogrosso frozen at the net.
It's so difficult as a blocker, where Nico stays with Hellvig, and it's almost as if it's kind of like when you're a golfer and you read a putt and you don't trust your read, where he had the right read. He stayed in front of Hellvig and he just stayed down and didn't trust the fact that it was an option, so it was just a freebie.
Good scrappy cover, but it doesn't go back over. And now 16-12, the lead has ballooned to 4.
Did anybody throw in that 1x bet that this is going 3? Is that a prop you could have done?
I thought that's what you were doing on your phone just a little bit ago. Åhman, float serve down the middle. Back to Nico. Nico looking for some hands, asking Hellvig, and Hellvig not turning around. Whether he touched it or not, he is back to talk to his partner.
Johnny Hellvig, nice guy. Not going to own up to his touches. And he shouldn't. And he shouldn't. There's a lot of money on the line.
Cut shot there. Excellent. Hanging cut shot there from Nico Capogrosso. Playing with that timing.
When he's been shooting, he's been fabulous. His decision making has been really, really solid.
Right in the lap of Hellvig. And Hellvig looking line, snapping angle for a big time kill.
Kyle, you played left side, you played right side. Can you explain to the viewers the difference in switching sides, why it is difficult, and how good Hellvig has been despite switching sides?
Yeah, you have to really change your line of approach. From that left side, you're really going to kick on a nice line bounce there from Tomas. When you're on that left side, you're really kicking out wide because you want to create an excellent angle of approach. You can always swing cutback on that angle approach with the left, but on the right side, if you let that ball die in too far, you cannot swing line. So you really have to adjust to be almost straight away. And so that line of approach is completely different for Jonathan Hellvig, but it doesn't matter because he's doing an excellent job of adapting and adjusting. And obviously these guys are in transition a lot and swinging on different sides, but that's mostly David Åhman swinging on either side because he's defender, he's digging in different balls. The short version for you.
The short version. Also, quick note, shout out to Tomas. Everyone loves a defender getting a block.
Oh, I didn't even see
getting
that.
On the board.
Oh! Whoever loves a blocker, getting a dig, can he put it away? Full layout from David Åhman. That tempo's pretty good. He likes it. Argentina playing scrappy, fixing up the looks a little bit here, earning some opportunities.
And that was the play that could have given Argentina just a little whiff of a chance to take this match in 2. David Åhman saying, not today. 19-15, 4-point lead, just 2 points away from pushing this to 3.
Capogrosso, a little lob set. He goes seam, trusting that seam. High risk shot, but rewarded.
High deep seam. I think it's just such a good bailout swing. If you're ever unsure what the defense is doing, especially defenses that moves as late as Sweden does, moves as late as, say, Norway does, the high deep seam is oftentimes going to catch them right in between all that movement.
16-19 on the switch. We've seen a 5-point run from Argentina. Opportunity, Tomas walking into that high line. High swing off the hands, excellent job. Argentina earned a defense point.
I can't speak highly enough of the defensive play calling and timing of Argentina. How many mistakes has Tomas just walked into because they called the right play and timed their moves so well?
This is off the net set. Chance for Tomas, but it catches him high. Is that ball in? Is it out? We'll never know.
What a swing from Jonathan Hellvig. He almost approached that like he would a jump serve from just the 3-meter line and just snaps it inbounds and catches Tomas in the chest.
Set point now for Sweden, 20-17. Outside to Nico, trying to go angle, or Åhman trying to go over on one, but that one goes wide. Argentina stay alive.
We saw Åhman cash in the direct deposit earlier today against Anders Moe and Christian Storm. Is since 0 for 2 with the direct deposits.
Option swing is killed. David Åhman, Jonathan Hellvig, hold on in set number 2. And that means we're going to 3. That 1x bet is going to give you some good returns.
1x bet just coming right back in. How are we going to reinvest the winnings on that one is the question.
Oh, so you're not pulling that money out. You're keeping it in.
It's a reinvestment account. Really nice decision there from Jonathan Hellvig. And another decent read from Nico, just getting out of the way, trying to pull. But that pass from Åhman was so good that Hellvig could put too much power on it. Tomas couldn't handle it. 21-19, 18-21. Colin, I must confess, I'm a bit surprised we're going 3 in the first place.
Yep.
I figured sweep coming in for Sweden. Credit must be given to Argentina. I think that they have played a phenomenal tournament, beaten a number of very good teams, beat Evander and Arthur for the second time of the year, beat Sharif and Ahmed in pool play, beat Hendrik Moll and Matthias Bernsen, showing that this 4 seed they have, it's no fluke.
No. They are getting better and better, and you're seeing it 3 top 5 finishes in the last 4 events. Something has clicked, something has changed in this Argentina squad. Whatever it is working. And again, credit Nico Capogrosso. I think I saw only one play where he really got frozen or his ankle's broken at the net. Every other time, he's been in the right spot, making the right read, maybe not always getting the block, but with this kind of offense, there's so many times where blockers are just looking dumbfounded out there because of the movement. Free ball here for Sweden. Nobody up. Chicken wing again from Tomas. Can he put this away? Unreal. Go ahead, young fella.
What a play from Tomas Capogrosso. Just kind of a little chicken wing dig, and then the fading right, snapping left. Swing into the angle. Phenomenal opening point of this 3rd set for Argentina.
Going high. And just fisting one over the top of Nico Capogrosso down the middle.
Åhman has gotten so good at that just sort of hang and kind of punch it while keeping his hand at the top to avoid getting blocked and avoid following through into the net.
That is a skill to be able to slow that arm down after a heavy swing. Oh, break here for Sweden. Nice softball. And off the hands on that second touch from Tomas.
Jonathan Hellvig, his ability to make these plays off the net, over and around him, his body control, it's so exceptional and so underrated. It's just not a play that looks spectacular to those who haven't played the game, but it is so difficult.
Down the middle, back to Nico. Nico, reminiscence of game 1, tagging sidelines.
Just tagging lines. I love the control with which Nico runs his offense, where he rarely unloads and goes for the glory swing, just stays high, snaps it into good spots that are very difficult to get to.
Inside set here, Hellvig with the left. Are you kidding me? What can't he do?
And Tomas looks at Nico for a second and wondering, why didn't you block that, big bro? But why would he be ready to block the left-handed cutback when his responsibility is to block the right hand? That's just phenomenal work from Jonathan Hellvig.
Knees. one. It's a perfect dig from Åhman. Åhman. That sets inside, but he's flying, Travis.
And what I'm looking at, I have to agree with Nico on this one, where he's looking at the ref asking for a lift or a double, is that it slips through Hellvig's hands and comes out a little chunky. And I'm surprised they got away with that one.
Little dunk down there, and one bad play turns into another. And now Argentina, they will take a timeout here in this third and final set. Reminder, folks, this set just to 15, so it's a quick one.
And the score that I had in my head would have been 15-11 Sweden. And remember that X factor that we had at the beginning of this match, that Argentina needed to jump on Sweden early. They did that in the first set, they won it. They didn't do that in the second set, they lost it. They're not doing it in the third, they're down 5-2. Digging yourself a hole against anyone at this level is so difficult, but when you dig yourself a hole against Sweden, good luck, buena suerte, boa sorte.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. There's a reason they are the reigning Olympic champions at just a bright young age of 22 and 23. They play with such a confidence and such a veteran mindset, in my opinion, that they know how to keep leads, and no lead is ever too big. 5-2 at the timeout. Tough serve to that sideline. Ripping one down the middle, another big touch. Oh, and Tomas is there on that cover, but not able to keep it high.
And I think Tomas is maybe a year's worth of experience and touches away from being a top-tier defender on this Beach Pro Tour. But little touches like that have gotten away from a handful of times here. And once he starts making those plays, this team is going to be very dangerous.
Nice line swing. And Nico giving him a little love. Going to pump up the younger bro.
I really enjoy watching siblings play together, especially when they enjoy playing together. The Klinger sisters are up there as one of them right now, and then you have the Capogrosso brothers. The crowds, they never really seem to enjoy playing with one another. But the Capogrossos genuinely seem to enjoy having one another's company on the court.
I agree with you there. Maybe the Bayo brothers, maybe you know, it can be a little spicy at times.
A little spicy
on
the court.
From the Bayos every once in a while, but nothing but love at the end of the day. Blood is thicker than water. 7-3 here on the switch. Ripper, but it's Doug. Soft touch off the hands. Åhman says, nope, not going to touch that one.
And I love the, I got it, you got it, I got it, you got it, between the Capogrosso brothers, where Nico originally took that step close to take it, and Tomas says, listen, I know you're the older brother. I got a little more pop on the swing. Excellent job from Tomas.
And Nico trying to go short there. And that one goes into the net. 8-4. This one back to Tomas. Tomas going cross court and a little ole from David Åhman, just missing that one. Nice heat from the Argentinian youngster.
That's it. The heat from Tomas is so impressive. When you just consider the sheer volume with which David Åhman digs volleyballs, anytime you hit one in his area and he misses, you know you did something nice.
Pass again from Åhman. Chipping line, good run down from Tomas, unreal. High pass, and a chance here for Sweden. Missing that one, can't believe it.
You just don't see this very often from David Åhman. I mean, how many has he been perfectly in system and then just hit one a little bit long, just a little missed contact on it?
Again, have to give credit to Tomas Capogrosso on that full layout. One of the best digs I've seen him make. serve into the net. We'll switch sides. 9-6, Sweden only on to a 3-point lead. The yellow card being issued for Argentina team. Not sure if they just took a very slow walk or maybe they both did a glass play, but I actually missed it.
I don't think you missed much. I was watching. The yellow card's being handed out like acai out here.
Okay, one in every corner. Tomas going back. He likes that line and he gets it off the block there of Johnny Hellvig.
And again, similar sentiment to the second set where Argentina, every time it looks like they might fold, that they could very well fold, that a lot of teams would fold against Sweden, they just hang in and they fight and they fight and they fight. It's just a 2-point ball game.
Jump set, Hellvig, bouncing line. That one felt good.
And I had that same read that Nico did. I thought Hellvig was going angle, angle, angle. Nico reaches into the angle and Hellvig just sees it at the last second and just snaps it line. Really nice shot from Hellvig.
And a good lead from Tomas. David Åhman's been working that sideline of Tomas Capogrosso, but Tomas letting that one go.
This has been, I don't want to say, I never want to use the word sloppy with David Åhman, but his serve has been considerably off.
Yes,
this tournament.
And like you said, possibly a little bit of rust. Played just a bit. High hand swing, that time Åhman says there ain't no rust on this swing, Travis.
And this is a double angle setup from Argentina.
Yes.
And still Åhman goes into the angle, and still Åhman beats it into the angle.
That one drops in and look so high, Travis. That was going to go long. It does not. It drops.
The coffin corner, this back left corner has been so dangerous. That is where the majority of these aces are coming from, especially when you're going angle to angle, 5-to-5, tagging that high, deep back line. So difficult, and that is that the straw that breaks the Argentinian camel, metaphorically speaking?
12-8, very well could be. Nico gonna have other words and rips one off the platform, David Åhman.
Nice job from Nico, bringing power on that one. I just continue to be impressed with the decision-making of Nico Capogrosso. His side out really has not been the issue here for Argentina.
Hellvig. Flat, spatchy, over top. OT, possibly, of Nico.
Little OT there as Nico just reaches in with that right, and Hellvig just splits it right in between the right hand of Nico Capogrosso and Tomas in defense.
High pass from Nico. Stay alive. That one, the fist bump from Johnny Hellvig tells me that is not a touch. That is going to bring up bronze medal point here for Sweden.
Sweden, again, will be on the podium, looking to remain undefeated in bronze medal matches. Not just yet. Argentina continues to stay in the hunt. Another excellent side out from Nico Capogrosso. 4 more match points away for Sweden. Tomas Capogrosso will be back to serve, looking no doubt to crack a big jump serve. It will take significant service pressure to bring them back into it. And there's one ace. There's one. Does he have 3 more? Big time jump serve from Tomas Capogrosso as we switch sides. Argentina down 11-14. The number that I had at the beginning of this set was 15-11 Sweden. One side out will be that on the money. Tomas and Nico, they've been on a 5-point run before. They need to engineer 3 more to send this into overtime. David Åhman for the match. The line is left open and the line is taken. David Åhman and Jonathan Hellvig. Your 2023 Beach Pro Tour Finals champions, your 2024 Olympic champions are now your bronze medalists